Morning, everyone. Today in our lesson, we're going to do some exercises using irregular verbs and the comparative adjectives. Please all open your books on page 57. I'll start with exercise number 1, the past simple irregular verbs. In pairs, find the past simple forms of these irregular verbs in the text on pages 55 and 56. We have some irregular verbs: sit, take, think, give, and make. طبعا the past simple form of them: sit, sat, take, took, think, thought, give, gave, make, made. I'll write them down. Sit, sat, take, took, think, thought, give, gave, and make, made. You have to find them in pages 55 and 56 from these two texts. You got here sat, the past form of sit, sat. We have also gave, and also here gave me, min give, from the verb give, verb 2 of give. We have also took from the verb take, took from the verb take, sat, gave, and took. Now you look from the next text. Have the verb thought from the verb think, the verb 2 of think, thought, and also made from make, verb 2 of make, made. Exercise number 2. Now in pairs complete this dialogue with the verbs from the list. 2 words are used more than once. فينا the verbs was, thought, were, became, and wrote. 2 من الأفعال رح نستخدمهم مرتين. I'll read this dialogue. The character Sherlock Holmes, a professional detective. A professional detective, محقق محترف. So one was a professional detective. Sherlock Holmes كان محقق محترف. He was a professional detective. 2 في عنا 1. Sherlock Holmes was. He was a professional detective. He, fame, not important. He طبعا هي بتعود على الكاركتر Sherlock Holmes. fame من الادجective famous. fame اللي هي الشهرة. famous مشهور. He thought fame was not important. He thought fame was not important. كان بيعتقد إنه الشهرة هي شيء غير مهم. He thought اعتقد fame was not important. 2 thought. 3 was not important. Watson his stories. طبعا it's obvious واضح شو رح نملأ الفراغ هون. stories القصص. He wrote his stories for people to know Holmes' role in them. Watson كتب القصص للناس أو قصصه للناس لكي يوضح to know Holmes' role in them مشان يعرفوا الدور اللي بيأديه Sherlock Holmes. So for he wrote. wrote الماضي من write. Watson wrote his stories for people to know Holmes' role in them. ليبين للناس الدور اللي بيلعبه أو بيقوم فيه شيرلوك هولمز. Holmes tools الأدوات اللي استخدمها شيرلوك هولمز أكيد were كونه tools جمع. الأدوات اللي استخدمها were science, logic and observation of small details. كان بيعتمد على العلم والمنطق وملاحظة التفاصيل الصغيرة. كان بيعتمد على التدقيق المفصل أو كان بيلاحظ التفاصيل الصغيرة. Science, logic and observation of small details. 5 and where. Holmes' tools were his techniques, such as examining fingerprints, later became a reality in police investigations. بعض التقنيات اللي استخدمها مثل examining fingerprints فحص آثار الأقدام استخدمت بالتحقيقات الخاصة بالشرطة طبعا أو أصبحت حقيقة بعد ذلك. أول ما نستخدمها آثار الأقدام أو تقنية اللي هي فحص الآثار الأقدام كان شيرلوك هولمز واللي أصبحت حقيقة بالتحقيقات الخاصة بالشرطة. later became أصبحت. So أول ما نستخدم the technique of examining fingerprint was Sherlock Holmes. Next time you are in London, visit his famous apartment at 221B Baker Street. طبعا شقته موجودة بلندن. إذا أتيحت لك الفرصة أنك تزورها موجودة بالعنوان مكتوب عندنا 221B Baker Street. It became a museum in 1951. أصبحت متحف بعام 1951. So his apartment became a museum. Sherlock Holmes' apartment became a museum in 1951. 1 was, 2 thought, 3 was, 4 wrote, 5 were, 6 became, and 7 became. Let's move to exercise number 4, the comparative. Compare the two books in the photos. Use the adjectives in the list to write sentences. في عنا encyclopedia and story. We have to compare between the two of them. نقارن بين encyclopedia والstory. والadjectives الموجودة big, small, thick, famous, old, and colorful. في عنا example. The encyclopedia is bigger than the book. لاحظوا على الحجم. encyclopedia أكيد أكبر من الكتاب. أو the story. The book or the story. is bigger than the book or the story. هنستخدم الصفة أو الadjective small أكيد the story is smaller than the encyclopedia. I'll write it right here. The story is smaller than the encyclopedia. صفة small ضفنا لها er than. في عنا thick لأكثر سمكا أو سماكة. The encyclopedia is thicker than the story. انتبهوا أكيد مبينة واضح من الصورة. The encyclopedia is thicker than the story. برضو حنضيف er للadjective thick. Is thicker than the story. في هنا famous. famous المشهورة أو المعروفة أكثر هي الستوري أكيد. فحنحكي the story is more famous than the encyclopedia. والadjective famous مكونة من 2 syllables من مقطعين. حنحكي more famous than. The story is more famous than the encyclopedia. Is more famous than the encyclopedia. Old مين الأقدم؟ أكيد the encyclopedia هي أقدم من الستوري. The encyclopedia أو الموسوعة. Is older than the story. The last adjective معناه colorful. colorful فيها ألوان أكثر متعددة الألوان. It's obvious إنها the story. The story is more colorful than the encyclopedia. Is more colorful than the encyclopedia. So في عنا sentence number 1. The story is smaller than. في عنا small صار ضفنا لها er than the encyclopedia. Number 2. The encyclopedia is thicker than أكثر سمكا من the story وحجمها أكبر. is thicker than ضفنا للصفة er than. Sentence number 3. The story is more famous than the encyclopedia. هي أشهر من الانسايكلوبيديا. انتبهوا إنه الصفة famous مكونة من مقطعين فحكينا more famous than. more famous than the encyclopedia. The encyclopedia is older. الصفة old مكونة من مقطع واحد ضفنا لها er than. The encyclopedia is older than the story. The last one. The story is more colorful than the encyclopedia. الadjective colorful مكونة من أكثر من مقطعين أو من مقطع. more colorful 3 syllables. فحكينا more plus the adjective plus than. The story is more colorful than the encyclopedia. The story is more colorful than the encyclopedia. Now we move to exercise number 5. We'll move to exercise number 5. Complete this dialogue with the correct form of the adjectives in brackets. في عنا بعض الصفات بعضهم راح نضيف لهم ER أو double. We have to double the last letter and with ER, or more plus the adjective than. Okay. رائد, I saw one of Pirate's stories in TV yesterday. Fatima, Pirate? I don't like him. I only love Miss Marple. Ra'ed, Miss Marple? That boring old lady? Fatima, she's not boring. In any case, she's boring than Pirate. عنا boring than Pirate. الصفة عنا boring, انتبهوا, مكونة من مقطعين. boring, فأكيد رح نستخدم يا إما more or less. وانتبهوا إنه فاطمة هي بصف مس ماربل, فهي بتدافع عنها. رائد بيحكي لها إنها that boring old lady, السيدة العجوز المملة. بترد عليه she's not boring, إنها مش مملة, فهي بتدافع عنها. in any case she's, أكيد كونها بتدافع عنها أو بصفها رح تستخدم less boring than. less boring than. كونه فاطمة بصف Miss Marple فهي حتحكي less boring مش more boring, أقل, هي مملة أقل درجة من Pirate, لأنها بتعتقد إنه Pirate الممل أكثر. So 1, she's less, exercise number 5, 1, less boring. less boring. استخدمنا less لأنه أقل, لأنه فاطمة كانت بصفها بتدافع عنها, والصفة boring هي صفة سلبية. less boring than Pirate. رائد, she's, في عنا الصفة intelligent برضو مكونة من أكثر من مقطعين. intelligent than Sherlock Holmes. ورائد مش بصف مس ماربل, فهو ما بيدافع عنها, هو بالعكس, فحيستخدم السلبية منها. intelligent هي صفة إيجابية, فرائد حيحكي she's less intelligent, أقل ذكاء من شارلوك هولمز. تبوا إنه هاد this exercise بيعتمد على المعنى برضو. less intelligent, فرائد بيحكي إنه Miss Marple is less intelligent, أقل ذكاء من شارلوك هولمز. الصفة intelligent إيجابية, لكنه هو مش مؤيد لأنه Miss Marple ذكية. less intelligent. She's less intelligent than Sherlock Holmes. هي أقل ذكاء من Sherlock Holmes. Holmes and Poirot are Holmes and Poirot. في عندنا الصفة logical برضو مكونة من أكثر من مقطعين. logical, فهنستخدم يا إما more يا إما less برضو. واللي بيحكي رائد فهو حيكون بصف شارلوك هولمز و Poirot, فحيحكي more logical and more professional than Miss Marple. برجع بحكي هذا الإكسرسايز بيعتمد على المعنى. رائد هو بصف شارلوك هولمز و Poirot, فهون نظرا لوجهة نظر رائد حيحكي إنه Holmes and Poirot are more logical and more professional than Miss Marple. More logical and for more professional. more logical, and more professional. Than Miss Marple. Fatima, maybe, but she is older and wiser than them. لكنها أكبر منهم بالعمر وأكثر حكمة. She's older and wiser. صفة old wise مكونات من مقطع واحد فمنضيف er than. She's older and wiser than them. 5 and 6 older and wiser. لكنها أكبر عمرا وأكثر حكمة منهم أو منهما. Right. In any case, I like detective stories. They are than romantic novels. رائد بيحكي إنه بحب القصص الخاصة بالتحقيق أو بتتضمن تحقيقات. They are أكيد more interesting than romantic novels. They are more interesting than romantic novels. من وجهة نظر رائد. They are more interesting. لأنه romantic novels ممكن يكونوا boring a little bit. So 1, less boring, less intelligent, more logical, more professional, older, wiser, and more interesting. I read it again. Ra'id, I saw one of Pirate's stories on TV yesterday. Fatima, Pirate? I don't like him. I only love Miss Marple. Ra'id, Miss Marple? That boring old lady? Fatima, she's not boring. In any case, she's less boring than Pirate. Ra'id, she's less intelligent than Sherlock Holmes. Holmes and Pirate are more logical and more professional than Miss Marple. Fatima, maybe, but she's older and wiser than them. Ra'id, in any case, I like detective stories. They are more interesting than romantic novels. Now we finished this lesson.